Hey everybody, welcome to another video from the PC Broker. I'm Jason. In today's video, I wanted to talk about this holiday season and purchasing refurbished or renewed MacBooks. So let's get into it. So this holiday season, when you're shopping for deals, in addition to MacBooks, you're going to see refurbished MacBooks from various online retailers like Amazon and Walmart. And a lot of people aren't really going to pay attention. They're probably going to just look at the price. And there's a few things that you should be aware of before you make a purchase like this. Even though it's a good price, there's things that you need to be aware of. Number one is the age. A lot of these MacBooks, the Intel ones specifically, are going to be at a minimum about 6 years old. And I'll bet there'll be a range from 2015 all the way to 2020 where you'll see MacBook Airs and MacBook Pros that will be Intel based. Now, you always have to be aware that all this stuff, they make it look as new as possible, but in reality, these things are really starting to get old. So that brings me into the number two, which is the battery. I usually see batteries start to go on MacBooks usually around the 7-year mark, and it depends on the use, but if you're buying a Intel-based MacBook, you're probably going to have, and if it has the original battery, you're probably going to have a MacBook that could need a battery pretty soon, considering it might be already on the newest one. You're looking at 6 years old. But on the ones that you probably see that are really good deals, like $200, it's probably going to be more like 8 years old. And I can tell you that batteries are not cheap for those. You're probably looking at anywhere from $50 to $70 for the part, and the labor is probably going to cost you probably close to that. So at a minimum, it's probably going to cost you at least $100 to replace the battery. And it's not one of these DIY things. I mean, if you try to do it yourself, you got to remove ribbon cables, and you have to take a plastic scraper, and they have these things that have double-sided sticky tape, and the batteries are glued to the inside of the case. So it's not like a quick 5-minute change out of the battery. You have to sit there and pry the battery out and not break the laptop at the same time. Now, you might see from various vendors, they might have replaced the battery. They might have gone through the whole effort of replacing the battery, and that's definitely something to look for. But you should be aware of that, because you buy something for $200, and in 6 months you're already replacing a battery. Now your $200 deal turned into $300, if not more. So the next thing, number three, that I wanted to talk about is the operating system support. Mac is not like Windows, and it'll drop support rather quickly, but most of the deals that you're going to see are most likely Intel-based MacBooks, and they're already getting cut off. The 2015s are cut off at Monterey, the 2017s are cut off at Ventura, and the newer ones after that are, depending on the model and the year, are cut off at either Sequoia. The only ones that get Tahoe are like the last ones, like the 2020 models. And even then, it's questionable. Some of the models didn't even make the cut for that. So you have to be aware, when you buy this, you're already getting a laptop that's going to be obsolete pretty soon. Within 2-3 years, you're going to be cut off from updates. Now, a lot of people might think, oh, that's not a big deal. It works fine. It's not a big deal normally, but it will become a big deal when you won't be able to install the newest version of Chrome, because Chrome drops support for a particular version. It's already happened with High Sierra and Catalina. Those versions are just not supported anymore by that, and other types of software. You might not be able to install the latest version because you don't have a more current version of Mac OS. So it's definitely something to be aware of. So the fourth thing that you should be aware of is a lot of these MacBooks, the Intel MacBooks, had various issues. Like the 2017s had rebooting issues. They had keyboard issues, depending on the model. You know, a lot of problems I see are on 2017 models. I see a lot of battery issues with some of the Intel models. The Intel chips are a lot harder on the battery, you know, so I see a lot of issues with batteries just no matter what. You know, it's even if it's like 4 or 5 years old, sometimes I see issues with the battery that soon. And so you should always look at the particular model that you're going to buy and look it up on YouTube and make sure there's no major issues that are going to become a real problem, you know, because you're going to have a Mac that, you know, should last you a few years and now it doesn't because it has some weird issue that, you know, you can't even repair. Or if you know, it's not easy to replace these keyboards and stuff. It's you know, so and even if you were able to replace it, the cost would probably be more than the laptop itself. So what do I recommend? Well, if I was gonna get something and I was spending at least $200, I would probably spend the extra 50 or $100 to get something like a MacBook Air M1. You probably will start to see refurbished or renewed MacBook Air M1s all over the place on different marketplaces as you see them, because a lot of these resellers have plenty. They're getting a lot of these now from a lot of people that are doing upgrades. So these are way better. They have, you know, you can put the latest Mac OS on them, still have great performance, have great battery life, and they don't have any issues that I'm aware of, at least not yet. So I've seen plenty of these, and the only times I ever had issues was if somebody broke it, you know. But I haven't seen any kind of like keyboard issues or rebooting issues or anything like that. And you know, it's one of the best laptops, so it's definitely worth the. And I would not spend $300 on an Intel-based MacBook. No way. Especially considering that if you do some searching around, you can get an Apple Silicon MacBook. So I just did a quick search here for you guys. What I looked at is laptops, MacBook Air laptops that are in the range of $200 to $350, and you'll see there's quite a few on here on Walmart. I wouldn't purchase any of these. I could tell you that right now. And I'm sure a lot of people will be looking at these and not really paying full attention. You know, if you click on some of these, it might look like a good deal, but the moment you look at it, I mean, look at this one here. It's got 4 gigabytes of RAM that's non-upgradable. So you don't even have this laptop, and you won't even be able to use it once you get it because it has 4 gigabytes of RAM. Once the operating system loads up, you're not going to have any RAM to do anything. So the first thing you're going to be doing is calling somebody to see if you could sell it to them because you want to get rid of it so bad. So all because you're trying to save what, $100? You know, this is a bad buy. Let's go check out some others. And it looks like they have some better deals on Amazon, and I'm sure this is going to change in the next week when Black Friday and Cyber Monday hits. But you got for $249, you got a 13-inch MacBook Air. What do we got here? All right, 8 gigabytes RAM, so that's a little bit better. 128 gig SSD, that's kind of low. What year is this? See, they don't even tell you what year it is because they don't want you to know. You have to look at further details just to find out. So I think this one's a 2018 model. I was looking here in the description here. This is a late 2018 model, so this is a little bit better than some of the deals I saw on Walmart, but look here. So you just do MacBook Air M1. For $353, you're getting a 2020 model MacBook Air M1, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 SSD. This is way, way better than the 2018 MacBook Air. And, you know, so it's $100 more, but this is $100 is it's gonna go a lot further. It'll be a much better expenditure of your money than getting one of those older Intel Macs. Guys, I hope this video helps, and I hope you make the right decision when you're making a purchase for a MacBook Pro or a MacBook Air. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.